Hello, folks. My name is Clark Dumar, and I'm going to be your host and your tour guide on one of my personal favorite vacation packages that we offer here at Amtrak Vacations, Grand Canyon National Park. I am actually the business development executive here. I've been with Amtrak Vacations about 5 years. I have talked about this national park for a long time since I started, as I began in sales and actually talked to folks just like yourselves who might be interested in planning your next big vacation, especially if you're looking to utilize the amazing national parks right in our backyard. Grand Canyon National Park is one of our most popular, most exciting trips that we run, and I'm hoping to give you some pointers and some great information to really take in and help you have a better understanding of just what we can do for you if you're interested in visiting one of the seven natural wonders of the world. Now, this train that we will be utilizing on this vacation with Grand Canyon National Park is, of course, the Southwest Chief. It's considered one of the most scenic, uh, amazing trains that you can take long distance in the United States. It runs all the way from Chicago on the far east end and all the way across the United States as far west as Los Angeles, making stops in notable cities such as Kansas City and Albuquerque, right near Santa Fe, and of course Flagstaff and Williams, which we'll be utilizing for this particular trip. And it actually, you'll notice it runs more or less parallel with Route 66. So for some of you who are interested in really taking advantage of a Route 66 themed vacation, this could be exactly what you're looking for. And when you take this train, it is a 2 night journey. If you were to take this all the way from Chicago to Los Angeles, in just a little bit, I'll talk a little bit about uh, the different accommodations on board the train. Now, one of the biggest features of this trip here visiting the Grand Canyon is, of course, the Grand Canyon Railway. It's one of the most iconic, famous steam engine trains in the world. It comes out of Williams, Arizona, and travels as far north as the south rim of Grand Canyon National Park. So in order to go from Chicago to Williams, it's about a 1 night journey, but it ends up being about 2 full days on the train, offering some incredible scenery of the very famous Southwest, some of the beautiful red rocks and canyons that it features. And what you'll be doing is actually taking the train to Flagstaff, where we'll get you a transfer right into the little town of Williams, actually really well known because it is one of the famous stops along Route 66. And you'll spend that first night there, typically at the Grand Canyon Railway, which is right by where it'll drop you. So very, very convenient. You'll find that this trip is a fan of many because it is very, very convenient. Now, taking this train, it's incredibly exciting. It offers some incredible scenery straight into the South Rim. It's amazing because this train quite literally goes into Grand Canyon National Park. It's about a 2.5 hour train ride. And actually, when I was a kid, I was a little bit younger. One of my fondest, earliest memories was taking this train with my parents, and I remember they did a staged train robbery, and I remember my mom just panicking because they took her wallet. So luckily, they gave it back. Of course, it has a happy ending. But they'll do something fun like that for you all. Just really making the most of this and really make it entertaining and enjoyable for everyone on board. So it's perfect for families, perfect if you're celebrating a special occasion. Now, the Grand Canyon Village in the South Rim, there's so much to do. And what's really, really nice, its majority is walkable. It's very, very convenient. You can walk from place to place. Most of our accommodations are just within a short stone's throw away from where the train will drop you. You can see on the map here, kind of in the middle on the left side there, you'll see where that train more or less ends up when you arrive. And we have a number of fantastic accommodations right within the village. For those who may need a little bit of assistance or maybe just don't want to deal with the long distance, especially with all that heavy luggage, right? What you'll do is actually you can pick up one of the free complimentary shuttles. There's a number of different loops. They're all perfectly color coded, very easy to navigate. So depending on where you're staying, this may be an option for you just to make things a little bit more convenient. But my point here is that everything is very, very close and kind of in one main area, but there's lots and lots to do for people of all walks of life. Now, you can enjoy, of course, the beautiful views. There's no bad views of the Grand Canyon. The pictures really just don't do it justice. There are millions of people that travel here every year. For those more active travelers, you're wanting to be outside more, do maybe something a little bit more physical. We have lots of options of hiking trails all throughout the rim and different access points and different trails you can take both in and around the canyon. I remember I did one that didn't quite go halfway down. I know my parents didn't really want to go too far, and that's okay. I was just a kid, but we enjoyed it just the same. Um, maybe you want to do one of our scenic rim tours on one of the pink Jeeps. I remember we did this, and it's a very small group, so the tour guide very knowledgeable. It makes for a very nice dynamic with your tour guide. Or maybe you're feeling pretty adventurous and you want to take one of the amazing helicopter tours. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of heights, so that may not be for myself, but maybe for you, if you're feeling particularly adventurous, this is something we do offer as you're catering your custom Grand Canyon package with us. And of course, no matter where you are, you're going to be able to enjoy every single view. Be sure to catch the sunrise or sunset, or maybe both. It's amazing just how the colors sort of change as they reflect off of different parts of the canyon. Probably the most iconic and recognizable property in the South Rim is, of course, the El Tovar. This is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, with us as well. And we have a partnership with El Tovar that if you are interested in getting the most out of your trip and the most comfortable experience, this is absolutely what I would recommend personally. They consider this the crown jewel of the Grand Canyon. And in fact, I do have a quite a short little story here to mention to you all. I think you find this really kind of interesting and funny. But there was a story of a woman who woke up early and she just couldn't sleep because there was some loud noise coming from the lobby area. And so she called the front desk and said, "Hey, where's that noise coming from? I'm having a hard time sleeping. It's super early in the morning. And, I need to be quiet." And they said, "Well, if you want to tell the person causing that noise to come quiet down, you can do that." So they went down to the lobby, of course, and lo and behold, what did they find? They found Paul McCartney playing the piano right in the lobby. So that's kind of the story. It's a true story. I promise this is his hotel of choice, and if it's good enough for Paul McCartney, I'm hoping it's good enough for some of you. So that's just a fun little story I like to tell about El Tovar. It's super iconic, hosted many recognizable folks through history. Let's look at Paul McCartney, one of our favorites. And of course, I have actually 5 reasons that I've sort of put together here of why you should visit Grand Canyon National Park. Number one, our train, the Grand Canyon Railway, will take you quite literally to the parking doorstep. It's your entry point into the national park. So you don't have to actually have a separate ticket to go into the national park. It'll take you right to the doorstep. And of course, you're very close to most of the amazing lodging options that we feature in the South Rim. Number 2, the journey is part of the experience. And for most of you, maybe this is your first trip, or maybe you're an experienced veteran with Amtrak, particularly, or the train system. This is a huge part of the journey. This could be a main aspect of your trip, and hence why you're going to the Grand Canyon. The train goes right by there. So it makes a lot of sense to make this a big piece of your trip. And thereby, I do recommend, of course, sleeping accommodations, which again, we'll go over shortly here. In fact, right now, we have 2 main options that you may find of interest to you. First off, the first class roomette, which is essentially a mini room that features 2 seats and at night turns into upper lower beds. And of course, the deluxe bedroom. Now, why would you want to upgrade to a roomette or a bedroom? Well, you have these amazing perks that come with it. I don't know anyone that wants to sit for a day or 2 days in a seat, especially when you consider the fact that meals are included when you upgrade to a private room or a sleeping accommodation. Number 2, you get access to the lounges at the major stations, such as Chicago and Los Angeles. So you just show them your ticket when you show up and you're waiting for your train. You'll have a place you can grab a bite to eat, get a drink, and sort of relax and just be away from kind of the main, crowd of people that might be trying to find their next train. So it's a nice feature that you get access to. Not to mention a first class attendant in every single sleeper train car that will help with whatever you need, deliver food to your rooms. I've included a couple of diagrams to give you a little better idea. Now, the roomette, I will tell you, just in my opinion and my experience, it is on the cozier side. So as I'd like to say, you have to enjoy who you're traveling with, or else it's not going to be that enjoyable. But certainly you'd still get access to a shower and toilet just down the hall. But for those of you who maybe are not too fond of sharing with strangers, no problem at all. You'll probably be more comfortable with the deluxe bedroom. In fact, this has a lot more room than the roomette and its own private restroom built into the cabin itself. So you only have to share amongst yourselves. Both options, though, do provide access to meals and the observation dome, as well as the dining car on board Amtrak. So you can get the absolute most out of your experience. Third reason that this is such an amazing package, why you should travel with Amtrak Vacations, is that we have no lines. There's no hassle, no stress. You show up at the station at your designated time. You don't have to show up 2, 3 hours in advance if you don't want, like you would normally for a flight. With the train, it's just show up and make sure you just get your luggage boarded in time for when it departs. That's all you need. You don't have to worry about lines. It's not anything like an airport, I promise. Number four, you could see multiple parks in one trip. Maybe you're interested in getting as many national parks in one trip as you can. Here's a fantastic one. In fact, the Grand National Parks of America, it's about a 3.5 week excursion package that we have conveniently built together that fits together all these amazing national parks, including Grand Canyon, the Mighty Five of Utah, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, even Glacier and Mount Rainier. And then, even visit the West Coast in San Francisco, maybe Muir Woods or Yosemite. So this one is like the all-in-one dream trip. And certainly if you've got the time for it, please consider this one, but we can customize it any way you want, especially if you have a limited amount of time. Lastly, number five, we have rail expert knowledge. Trains are not really easy to talk about, right? Or plan out. That's what we're here for. We speak train. We speak the language of Amtrak and trains around the world. And by the way, did I mention we can book up to 2 years in advance? It's a huge advantage that we have. Since we are the official tour provider for Amtrak, it gives us access to accommodations well in advance, prior to when Amtrak releases space on the train, which is actually 11 months in advance, if you didn't know. Now, some of the others, just quickly, I just want to run through a few featured vacations we have if you're looking to combine Grand Canyon or come from different aspects of the country. And you can cater it to wherever you want. I know these are all pre-built from Chicago, but that's just because it's the hub of Amtrak. If you want to start on the East Coast or the Midwest or the West Coast, we have packages that can fit exactly what you need, and we can customize it to where you're coming from. Here's a 2 week vacation that also features Yellowstone and Yosemite. It sort of does one big loop, features the California Zephyr and the Coast Starlight in addition to the Southwest Chief. By the way, in the South Rim, I didn't want to forget, we have, this is just a handful of some of the main accommodations you might be interested in. The El Tovar we talked about, but the Kachina or the Bright Angel or the Thunderbird, those are all right next to each other, sit right on the rim of the canyon. You can get canyon view rooms if you wish. Or if those are no longer available, no problem. The Maswick or the Yavapai lodges are completely comfortable. I've stayed in multiple. So I remember the Kachina was my favorite, but also in the El Tovar, we did explore that property. It's got a great restaurant, by the way, if you're looking to plan out your meals when you're there. Now, for the rest of the Grand Canyon, this is great for those coming from the West Coast. The Los Angeles Southwest Chief departure station will take you overnight. It's on the shorter side, by the way. It's about 10 hours each direction from LA to Flagstaff and Williams, but we can still get you there right from Los Angeles. It just changes the number of nights a little bit. But remember, we can customize it if you want to extend or shorten your stay out there. Maybe you're coming from the East Coast, New York City. You want to fit in with our Scenic America by Rail package. This is about a 2 week vacation. Starts in New York, goes through Chicago on one of the Lakeshore Limited train, goes overnight, then overnight to Grand Canyon, and then overnight to Los Angeles, finishes on the West Coast. So another great selection here. Lastly, our Grand National Parks of the Southwest. This is a little over a week, but it also, this really focuses on the Mighty Five of Utah. And we actually include a rental car for you to make things very convenient. This one's a round trip utilizing the California Zephyr between Chicago and Grand Junction, and this one actually goes all the way to San Francisco if you wanted to. But this is just one example of the many that can be done in thousands of combinations. I hope that this presentation provides you with enough information and answers some of your questions you may have. If you are interested, please don't hesitate to give us a call today. We are available 7 days a week. Any of our expert representatives are more than willing and happy to take your call and help you build the next dream vacation. That number is on your screen, 1-800-268-7252, or visit our website, amtrakvacations.com. And thank you again for taking a few minutes out of your days today to listen to this presentation. I hope you find it helpful. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.